Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's this time of the week that we like to say, Welcome to Eejits of the World! With you,
Glenn Wall, and you,
Andrew Maxwell. And what a show we have for you this week. We have a new epoch of Eejits before us. This week we have the Eejits of The Pope is Dead, Long Live the Pope.
and we have the Eejits of celebrities in space.
And far be it from us to start Eejits of the World on a somber note, but the Pope's dead.
Yeah.
Pope Francis has passed away this very day.
Bow our spangly hats in unison.
The Pope sadly has passed away. I quite liked actually Pope Francis. I thought he was an alright Pope. First ever South American Pope. First ever Jesuit. He did a really solid thing in Chad many years ago.
What did he do?
He saved a bunch of Muslims who were about to be massacred by a bunch of Christians.
How? Like with
He showed up.
fisticuffs?
No, he just showed up. Told him to calm
Like
down.
Jackie Chan took the whole...
Yeah, he was sprightly. He was sprightly when he was younger.
He was Argentinian. He knew the ways of the street.
He surely did. He's from Buenos Aires.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. If you're from South America's leading grain port town, you're going to be a rough dude.
Yeah, he liked Metallica. I know that much.
And you know what? Metallica liked him, despite
Really?
their Lutheran roots.
He was on the keyboard, Luther Roots.
Luther Roots, he was a great, man. That's when they were, they had a black guy in the band.
Yeah, that caused a bit of a ruckus with the crowd. Luther, we're going to have you off stage. Some of these guys got real good arms. They played a little college ball.
Anyway, the Pope is dead. The Pope is dead.
He's gone.
But they're going to have another one. The bookies are saying, please, obviously, spare a thought for Pope Francis passing away. But if you're a Catholic, don't worry. There'll be another one.
Yeah,
It's not the end of the papacy. It's like Doctor Who or James Bond. There's always a new one.
Yeah, and it's not like in hockey where, sometimes if a really good captain gets traded or retires, then they wait like a year before they have another captain.
No.
You gotta have a captain.
They're gonna have a captain, and all the bookies are saying it's gonna be a Catholic. That's what they've an amazing opportunity to do something crazy, The Grand Master of the Loyal Orange Lodge of Ireland is waiting with his bowler hat to throw it into the ring.
Yeah.
He's waiting, but no.
Odd job.
Like odd job, hey. Odd job is what they call me.
Yeah. If that's his nickname, then he's in line for the Pope.
Yeah. Odd job is what they call me because I used to be the maintenance man in a school. Sectarianism. There you go. And in even more crazy news, it turns out J.D. Vance has done a Liz Truss to the Pope.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. J.D. Vance showed up in the Vatican yesterday for Easter Sunday, met the Pope. Oh, have you seen the picture? of the
Yeah.
Pope meeting JD Vance. I've never seen a man recoil from somebody more. Like, considering the Pope is famous for kissing the feet of sinners, you know?
Right.
He's not exactly shy of meeting strangers, but like, ugh, he was like that meeting JD Vance. Was like, oh, the Grim Reaper's shown up in the shape of a mediocre politician.
He would have been terrified. He's not in a suit. He knows how much JD Vance loves suits.
Yeah.
And look what's happened. I think it's escalation.
Oh, really?
I think JD did it on purpose.
I think.
Show a little respect. He's like a Vegas casino in the 60s. Gotta wear a suit.
You gotta wear a suit. Hey, if you're gonna throw all your life savings away, at least dress like somebody. Yeah, he's done a full Liz Truss. Liz Truss met the Queen. The Queen died from meeting such profound mediocrity. You know, Pope Francis
Yeah.
meets JD Vance. You could see it in his eyes. The Pope was like, "Take me now, Lord."
Oh my Lord. And what if it's the last thing he saw? And
JD Vance's tiny piggy eyes surrounded by a bit of eyeliner. Those little beady little piss holes in the snow.
yeah.
Staring at your pontific ways.
Yeah. He's in hell right now.
Who is?
Well, just if
Not
that's
the
the
Pope.
last, if that's the last thing he saw, it's just burnt in.
I think you've got the theology of Christianity confused with a horror movie, Jane.
It's yeah. I mean, he had such a good life just to have it all unravel at the end.
Very end by a JD Vance just showing up. I want to see that picture. Are Vance's feet actually touching the floors? Do you know what I mean? Will there be little fat hoof prints in the carpet?
Succumb to the JD advance.
The JD advance.
Touch me, old man. Touch my hand.
Everything I turns to shit. That's why I was a senator for Ohio. That wasn't the only thing he fucked up this week. He also destroyed the American College Football Trophy.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
How do you break a college football trophy? Something that's been designed to be heavy and lifted by numbskulls.
Yeah, I don't think he's won many trophies.
No.
Like the first time he got his fat little hands on one, didn't know how to do it.
His little fat fingers, he was whoop, 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 whoop. Just...
No, it's like Excalibur. It can't be held by.
Yeah, Vance got his hands on Excalibur. It would just go slightly further into the rock.
Just go flaccid.
What's happening?
Just go flaccid.
Just go flaccid.
He's using it to whip people with.
As prophecy of old came true, Excalibur went flaccid in the hands of a Vance.
Slid it out like a tapeworm.
Just a little bit of cheese. Yeah. Just pulling it out of the hole. Oh dear. But I have to say, Pope Francis, we salute you. Extraordinary timing. You know, to die as a pope on Easter Monday.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like what's Jesus? He gets up on the Sunday. The Pope goes down on a Monday. Like, what the fuck is God playing whack-a-mole at the Vatican?
Well, I mean, this is the question too. Is he really dead? Like, do we have to put a 3-day timer on it just to see if he's gone super pope?
Super Pope. Yeah. He's just doing it all. He's doing it all. He's like a player and a manager. Is the Pope going to turn into the Kenny Dalglish of the Vatican? Is he going to win the double in a tracksuit? That's what we all want to know.
Yeah. At least put him in a cave with a rock in front of it. Just like, you got to do everything. Do it right so that if we can see we're day one of the 3-day watch now.
Yeah. And also, you know what I mean, if The Queen killed off by Liz Truss. J.D. Vance kills the Pope. The Dalai Lama must be shitting himself.
Yeah.
You know, exactly what mediocre, is one more meeting with Richard Gere.
I don't think Gere could still get a meeting with the Dalai Lama. He hasn't had a hit in a long time.
That's true. I don't know if you've heard some of the public utterances of the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama. Fuck, you know what I'm talking about.
You gonna be all right? Do you need a sip of water?
No, considering you're the one who flew all night from Canada,
I know.
I feel slightly more mental than you. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's the Pope. The Dalai Lama. So, I suppose you're wondering what's next.
Yes.
The conclave, my friend.
Yeah.
Now, in the conclave, Mr. Glenn, this is what happens next. The Pope has passed away, right? I looked into it, by the way. The possibility of the Pope resting like a fine bottle of wine for 3 days to see whether he resurrects like our Lord Jesus Christ. There's a whole procedure when a Pope dies. They destroy his papal seals, and his papal ring is destroyed, right? But what they don't do is there's never an autopsy.
Ah.
They never check what a Pope's died from. Once he's dead, that's it.
Pretty easy to kill a Pope then, isn't it?
If you were that way inclined.
Yeah.
But I guess...
Don't use this as an opportunity to go poisoning the Pope.
Stop doing that. It's been quite enough of that through papal history.
You teenagers.
You naughty scamps out there with your Tamagotchis and skateboards. So let me explain the conclave. Now, the conclave is where they gather. It's what is called the College of Cardinals. Okay, it's a very solemn ceremony where they gather the Arizona Cardinals and the St. Louis Cardinals in the same place, which is not easy because one's a winter sport and a summer sport.
Yeah,
they're on different training schedules, but they were all brought together in the Vatican.
It was easier when they both played in St. Louis.
It was definitely easier. It was definitely easier when they were all in the Maiden of the Mississippi.
Yeah.
But sadly, no. Now they're out in the desert southwest. It's a bit
Half of them, yeah.
half of them. But then they're all put on a plane and brought to the Vatican.
Yeah.
Where you've got outfielders and linebackers jockeying for ecclesiastical power. Mm-hmm. And then there's about 200 of them, they get to decide who's going to be the new... They're all locked in the Sistine Chapel. And sometimes it takes for days to decide new pope. Do you know why?
Because the swimsuit competition takes the longest.
No, people can't tell whether they're praying or just looking up.
Now, you say that there's no autopsy on the Pope. There's definitely a ball check.
On the way in, not on the way out.
Yeah. Because they had a lady Pope once.
Oh, they had Pope Joan by accident.
That wasn't her last name, was it?
That's what she was called, Pope Joan.
By accident, though.
Yeah. I think they were just razzing Pope John. And it was only afterwards they were like, oh my God, we've been ruled by a lady.
Yeah. And then now there's like there's a board with a hole in it. And you gotta...
Drop your spuds down there.
Yeah. But I mean, you could probably get around that if you just stole a kangaroo, you put a couple of nudicles in a kangaroo ball sack.
Or just had a kiwi. lowered a 3-day-old kiwi down the hole.
What does your ball sack look like?
It looks green, furry, and surprisingly edible.
And everyone's allergic to it when they're young.
Oh, God. And yet, very appropriate. One paedophile joke per Vatican material, please, sir.
Exactly.
Just one. Yeah. Well, let's keep it together here because we are talking about the loss of a really quality pope.
So you know what the problem is? I'm too old, and the popes, there's been a lot of them. And that's like, it's not as sad. Like when Queen Elizabeth died, it was like, well, this doesn't happen all the time. But there's been like 5 popes in my life.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
there are popes in my life. What do you mean?
No, it's just
how many popes do you remember?
No, I'm just saying.
I bet you only remember 3.
Pope John Paul the first, second, and third. Pope. There was John Ratzenberger, the guy who played Cliff from Cheers.
He was great. He's also in Toy Story.
And the Pope. Pope Ratzenberger, this Pope now, the Metallica Pope, that's what I call him. And there was one that showed up for half a season because the other ones were on strike or something. Remember him?
Yeah, the non-unionized Pope.
Yeah, he came in.
Took over Ponchiarelli's role in one series of Chips. Is that how you're talking about? Yeah, I think you were getting Pope Francis confused with an actor.
No, that's yeah. Well, how many did I get there?
I don't know.
But John Paul, that's the one everybody likes.
John Paul, JP too. Well, he was the Polish Pope.
Yeah,
you know, he'd played in goal. He was a goalie.
I know. How good were those saves? Actually. Two of them were his miracles.
It's amazing for just freaking somebody out on the penalty spot. You're like, bless yourself. And the one for you, my child. Don't sky it, my boy.
No, yeah, it's just no one's watching. But what I'm saying is, because they get to be the Pope when they're quite old, so that they die, and it's not as sad. It's like when the Golden Girls died. It wasn't a tragedy. It was just, that's gonna happen when somebody gets famous.
I see.
You know.
So you weren't saddened when Betty White passed away? No.
I was, and she lived longer than I thought Betty White was going to.
Why? How did Betty White live?
She lived to 100.
Yeah, but you sound, the way you put it out there was like Betty White had been a crackhead in the 80s. That sounded like...
She looked like she had fun. I don't know if she had crack, but she was certainly... She was very open-minded and funny, like right to the end.
Amazing. Betty White was the business.
Did you hear her quote about balls? Like she says, "Oh, people say it takes a lot of balls to be tough." It's like, no, you should say it takes a lot of vagina to be tough. Those things take a pounding.
Ooh, Betty.
I know. That doesn't sound like a woman who's going to make it to the century mark.
No, true.
The Queen will not write her a letter on principle alone. Well,
there you go. Well, R.I.P. Pope Francis and Betty White.
Yeah,
a two for one.
In heaven together.
Finally
in heaven together.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
Did you? So the bookies are in.
Okay.
You've got the most likely cardinal to take over is, of course, Cardinal Pietro Parolin. He's on 4-1.
Wow.
He's the leading diplomatic pope. He's like the foreign service pope. He's Italian, classic Italian. They've gone classic there. An Italian pope again. Another one, the other one that the bookies are going for is Peter Erdo. Now he's a Hungarian pope, and he's a conservative theologian.
Wow.
Yeah, he's on 7-1.
Yeah, that's a lot of things going on there. I'm just thinking of Orban, and he's a Hungarian theologian, which oddly made me sort of hungry.
Yeah, exactly. Just all over the Catholic world, people tasting the Holy Host going, is it paprika?
Yeah.
Has the Pope made the Holy Host paprika?
Have some of the sauce. Have some of the
What?
dip it.
What's wrong with your dip it? But years ago, I had a friend whose parents were. I have a friend whose parents are Hungarian, and her mum, awesome Hungarian lady, and she would she pronounced Woody Woodpecker as Woody Woodpecker. So great. Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah.
You'd spend all day trying to turn the conversation to cartoons. Woody Woodpecker. Lovely one.
My grandpa used to pronounce, because he was Estonian.
Yes.
Bananas were banana.
Banana.
Yeah.
They don't grow in the boggy forests around Tallinn.
The other one was penguin. Neither of them could say penguin.
Really?
Yeah. Penguin.
Penguin.
Penguin. And it wouldn't really come up that often, but
Not unless you forced it.
no, sadly the butcher shop in White Rock was called Penguin Meats.
Okay.
So anytime they wanted to go to the butcher, they were like, can we go to Penguin?
That's nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. Yeah, so hopefully, we'll see. We're going to Hungarian Pope and Italian Pope.
Who else is in? Who else?
There was also, I believe his name is Cardinal Peter Turkson. Now, he's from Ghana.
Oh!
He would be the
I
first.
want him.
He would be the first Black Pope.
Yeah.
Which brings me to every time there's a new Pope, it's time to bring back one of the great stories of stupid British politics. This is mind-blowingly done, right? So, here on Eejits of the World, we must emphasise our political position is a private matter. When a politician of anywhere across the spectrum makes a fucking Eejit out of themselves, they're on the table to be carved open. We don't care what your political opinions are. We're looking for Eejits, and if we find them, we're talking about them. So here's a left-wing Eejit.
Good.
Here from the UK, the Foreign Secretary, the man who's in charge of British foreign policy and in charge of the Foreign Intelligence Service, MI6, David Lammy. David Lammy's his name. He is half a wit. Is verging on, if in decimalization, I think he could be even down to 40% of wit.
Wow.
The last time when Pope Francis was actually going through the process of becoming Pope, in 2013, right? There's a famous, for those who are not imbued in the world of Catholic culture as I have been raised to be, when you choose a Pope, you'll know when they've decided in the conclave in the Sistine Chapel, when they've gone for a Pope, if it's inconclusive, there's a chimney stack that emits black smoke, but when they've picked a Pope, it's white smoke.
Right.
Right? Everybody who knows anything about the Pope knows that. In 2013, when Pope Francis was on the way to become a Pope, the BBC put out a tweet saying, will smoke be black or white? Right?
Yeah.
To which MP David Lammy, right, a man who was already at this stage about 40 years old, so not a child, he straight back, he snapped back at them.
Good.
And he said, do we really need silly innuendo about the race of the next Pope? Oh, Lammy.
Well.
Oh, man.
That could be in the top 10 of in the now deleted tweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he has long deleted, but if you Google the name David Lammy and put a space in, oh, yeah. The next words are Pope smoke.
You're going to need a time machine to delete that tweet to get that out of any nook and cranny that it's stuffed in, waiting for you to try and say another smart thing.
Yeah, which you did not do.
Yeah.
I'll take the opportunity to racially upbraid people over the colour of smoke they blow. Anyway, So that's one of two David Lammy things that just won't die. There's that, and his appearance on Celebrity Mastermind.
Whoa.
Where the foreign secretary...
Did he pick the Catholic religion as his...
David Lammy. And all things Vatican, please. No, Muhammad Ali, of which he only got 8 points.
Oh.
He knew very little about Muhammad Ali. But not as little as he knew about everything else. Because he only got 5 points from current affairs. So, just to double check that you are, in fact, my long-term podcast partner.
Yeah.
That you were, in fact, smarter than the British Foreign Secretary, David Lammy. Okay. Are you ready to play a quick quiz of the things that David Lammy didn't know on Celebrity Mastermind?
All right.
All right.
Ready to go.
Here we go. This is a new section of the show that I'd like to call Are You Smarter Than a Glen-year-old?
I hope for the sake of all the people at home you are.
Right. Here we go. This is one of the questions I asked David Lammy. Who is the scientist whose first name was Marie? Who made great breakthroughs in the world of radiation?
Marie Curie.
Correct! David Lammy said Antoinette. Yeah, man. Foreign Secretary. Foreign policy of the UK is in charge of this, man. Okay? Let's go. Don't forget, he was about 40 when this happened. This wasn't, yeah.
Wow.
Name the fortress in Paris that was very famous in the French Revolution.
Toulouse-Lautrec.
Oh, Christ. Okay, that's 1-0. Come on.
I don't know that one.
The Bastille.
Oh, okay.
Right. He said Versailles. All right, so you're one apiece. James Gandolfini was an actor who played the starring role as a mafia boss in what TV show?
The Sopranos.
Yeah, he went with Godfather. Yeah, 40 years old. What is this top row of seats in a theatre called? The highest level.
The Gods.
Correct. He went with pass.
Appropriate for the Pope section.
The American military hands out a medal for bravery. What's it called?
The Purple Heart.
Correct. He went with pass.
Hopefully the next one is if you're behind a slow-moving vehicle, what should you do? Go around.
Honk. Is it honk? No, David Lammy, it's not honk. There was a revolution. There was a revolution called the Rose Revolution.
Correct.
What country did the Rose Revolution happen in?
England.
No.
Oh, okay.
Revolution.
I was thinking of the War of the Roses.
You were. I could say that. But much in the last 20 years, they had a revolution in a European country and it was called the Rose Revolution.
Was it Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic?
No.
I thought that was the Velvet Revolution.
That was the Velvet one. It was Georgia.
Oh, that's not in Europe.
But you still managed to get a guess in. Which in Mastermind, although an incorrect guess is still considered better than a pass. He passed on that one. Didn't know that. Foreign Secretary didn't know that.
Couldn't pick a country in Europe?
Couldn't. Didn't. You just went pass. I don't know. What British blue cheese, what UK cheese is a blue cheese?
Stilton.
Correct. He went with Red Leicester. Foreign Secretary. That's pretty amazing, right?
He thought he was going to help out some of Labour in Leicester. Just to get a plug in for all the Labour constituents in Leicester.
All right, this is my favourite one of them all. Who succeeded Henry VIII to the throne of England?
Henry IX.
It was in fact Edward VII, but he actually went with Henry VII. That's right. The United Kingdom's Foreign Secretary, a couple of years back on a chat show, on a game show, thought that you were actually counting down the kings. Like a rocket taking off. Oh well, that cheered me up after the passing of Pope Francis.
Yeah. How many of those Henrys, though, just got too fat to be king? Yeah.
I float on the royal barge.
I know. If you were like Henry the First and you're looking at 8 up there, you're just like...
Henry the Eighth. Henry the Seventh. Henry the Sixth. Prepare for takeoff. All systems go. Henry the First.
We're gonna need a couple more rockets on this.
Many more wagons and oxen. More oxen. Yeah. Well, there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
That's not a very smart guy.
He's in charge of British foreign policy. Well, there you go.
Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, hot fudge sundae y en la nueva creamy chili McCrispy Strip dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It's my turn to bring one. I don't know how much of the news you watched last week, but Jeff Bezos sent 5 women into space. And it was unclear of whether it was a strike for feminism or just a way for him to get rid of all his mistresses. If I was I would check amongst each other, like, okay, is anybody else here having an affair with him? Because I think I know what he's trying to do. It actually works out cheaper than a divorce. So.
There's a lot of insurance to be picked up. Yeah, he sent them up in what, quite frankly, looked like a dildo. It was the most penisy looking rocket I've ever seen.
And most rockets are pretty penisy.
They're a bit more pointy at the top. This had a full glans. It was an actual head on this rocket. I mean, it probably
He made them all go in there.
Oh, they were all in the head, yeah.
At least it was a door, and he didn't make them just crawl out the top of them.
So tell us, who is the most famous woman on this?
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, plus Oprah's special friend, Oprah's
Right.
best friend. She was also on there. Some other people I'd never heard of.
Yes. I think
There was a woman
Andrea Nagoyan.
Who was the media just described as an activist, whatever that means. That sounds like nothing.
Yeah.
And more importantly, there was also what's her name now? Lauren Sanchez, who is
Jeff
Bezos's fiance. What a life that is! Just every day. How you doing, Jeff? You all right? You're right there. Have you ever seen Lauren Sanchez? Have you seen her face?
Yeah.
Oh my God, you should see, this woman's had so much surgery. It looks like she's permanently, her face looks like it's permanently in re-entry.
Yeah.
Just,
Maybe that's what it was
maybe
for.
her noggin was out the top of the ship, just...
See, and I think this is the real danger of that, too, is they've sent all those people up there. Don't send that 5 set of people. Like, what if we met aliens? And they just have that was the first people that the aliens met. Like, and they would just assume, these are space workers.
Oh, which one of you is Gail, Oprah's special friend? Even we from Andromedon 597 can see what's really going on. What? It's all legal now, Gail.
Yeah, you're not the only one in that rocket that kissed a girl and liked it.
But the fact it was such a massive thing is it's the first all-female journey into space. Okay, that's kind of impressive. I'll tell the other 104 women who have been astronauts.
Yeah.
Also, their trip into space was exactly 10 minutes long. They flew up to 10 minutes into the... It's basically, there's the very top of the Earth's atmosphere, which is a surprising 62 miles up there.
Yeah.
62 miles up there. And then they floated around for 4 minutes where they were weightless and they all sold whatever products they were selling. Katy Perry had a touching message to her little daughter, but also sold her tour. And then they all came back down again in 10 minutes. And they came back down in the classic way of all astronauts, screaming. Have you seen the video?
Just like Buzz Aldrin did.
Just like Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and
One step for me!
yeah. There's Neil Armstrong trying to record that message, but back in the capsule, Michael Collins was screaming his head off. Guys, I shouldn't be here. I'm the co-presenter on The View.
Well, I think it became very obvious they weren't astronauts in real life when one of them pointed out the moon to the other ones. And it was really like got people stopping like, oh, it is there.
Guys, the moon. Wow. What are the chances of seeing
you
that?
You know your stuff.
Hello, scientist.
Somebody's on a spectrum.
Oh, the moon. Like, you can't see that from Earth. Like, that's priceless. That's priceless. Like, that is.
Well, yeah, that's Los Angeles for you. It's just on the smog there.
Oh, I love the story so much, man. And the screaming in the capsule is so great. 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We're all women. You're just on a joyride. You're on a billionaire's joyride. You're not actually... I wouldn't mind, but we actually covered this earlier, probably earlier this year, on Eejits of the World. We covered... There was actually 2 astronauts who had been trapped in space on the actual space station for, 9 months? They were trapped for 9 months. Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmer. And Sunita Williams was trapped in space for so long. An actual astronaut, by the way. An astronaut. Right? She's trapped in space for so long that it made her chin grow.
That's just weird.
Have you seen the footage of it?
No. I found out about this today.
It's funny. It's because it's your muscles atrophy on your face and whatnot from being up there for too long. And her chin started grow. Apparently it's an optical illusion. Her chin didn't grow. Her flesh has fallen away, or something like that. But she now has this crazy pointy witch's chin from being trapped in space as an actual astronaut for like 9 months,
or
not 4 minutes. 4 minutes of Jeff Bezos' sex rocket. It's more than enough for any lady. Including you, Gail.
Or is she being replicated and they just can't get the chin right?
We can do organs, we can do eyes, brains, and hearts, but chin's really difficult.
Yeah, no, she has to be x-rayed to make sure that she's got human innards. I think that's an alien. It's morphed into her.
Or you think instead of the alien as a bit of a snafu, first time alien, long time caller.
Yeah.
It was meant to burst out of their chest.
Yeah.
But it somehow got lost and has spent the last 9 months trying to burst out of Sunita Williams' chin.
It's really sad. It's really sad. You know, you do all these planning and the work in the lab, and then the damn thing squirrels up in her chin. And, you know, the good news is she's gone back to Earth. So if we can just get the alien out of her chin, it can start sucking on other people's faces. But as it stands, she just has an ever-expanding chin.
Seems how she's a scientist and, you know, she mightn't be vain enough.
Yeah.
So we need to get, the aliens will need to somehow manage to get Sunita Williams out to Hollywood, California, the home of show business.
Yeah.
Try and get her in front of a Persian plastic surgeon.
Boy, you'll have a little surprise.
Here you go. Guess what's in here? Arrival. Oh man.
Well, see,
I loved it. I loved it. I loved everything about it. This story. It was so ridiculous.
I think it'd be better if next time Jeff Bezos has to go into a rocket that all those women made float around.
That would be great.
A big vagina rocket. Like a kid. Looks a lot like a hammock.
I was going to say it like takes off like a frisbee. That's how it moves.
Sort of like a flying bat, like a flying fox.
You mean like a sugar glider?
Yeah.
Which is what I'm going to start calling it from now on. Yeah. No, there's an amazing footage of... Oh, what's the TV show? It's one of those phone-in, let's complain shows. Oh, what's his name? He's the one who's the brother of one of the
Jeremy Vine.
Jeremy Vine. The nowhere near as cool brother of Tim Vine.
Yeah.
Who was one of the funniest comedians that ever lived.
Yeah.
Truly, and a fine human being. Jeremy Vine, a woman during this rang in and complained about the shape of the rocket. Genuinely rang in and goes, I don't like it, it's too penisy. He's like, well, maybe it's, aerodynamic, qualities. No, it doesn't need to be like that. It's like funny, he's got a head, it's too fat.
They have to get up between floors on a little vein on the outside.
Which the stairs are only passable twice a day. 7:30 to about 7:45.
Yeah. We're going up in the morning. That's when we can guarantee this thing will be straight as an arrow.
We'll be able to get into the cockpit then. And then it'll be some other point in the day whenever his wife comes back from yoga. She's still in her yoga pants.
All right, we're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to put her on a bus and drive it around. For some reason,
we're going to have to get the rocket to doze off for 20 minutes on a diesel-generated vehicle. But yeah, she's fully complaining about the penisiness of it.
Yeah,
it's a full-on cocket.
Yeah,
they've built a cocket. There's no need.
Well,
there you go. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
But the hullabaloo, like, fantastic. When they eventually land, screaming their heads off, brilliant. Really, really tickled me. I just giggled. I don't know. I thought it's probably how I'd behave if, I'd be like, hey!
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't be behaving like an astronaut.
You're not a scientist.
Nah, I'm not a scientist. I'm not. I admit it. My pipettes I use for other things. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what I was claiming there. But Katy Perry, she gets out of the rocket and she kisses the ground like a pope.
Yeah.
She kissed the ground just like a pope would.
Maybe she's
eyeing up the big gig.
Astronaut, pope.
Sadly for her, she's an evangelical Protestant, so no chance.
Katy Perry, the astronaut pope.
Astro Pope. Great name for an album.
That sounds like her tour that she was plugging.
It does sound like
Astro Pope. Can you please make the hat sexier?
Yeah. Can you taper the hat in the middle?
Yeah, give it a little curve.
All of this so possible.
Yeah.
It's so possible that Katy Perry has requested at some point in her career a sexy Pope-esque costume. Could you make me a sexy Pope-esque? Everybody online thinks you're worshipping the devil.
But no, the part of the dance is that little piece of wood with the the circle just to say, I'm not a man pope.
I'm not one of those stupid men popes. The only thing that's dangling between my legs is my labia.
But she does it. There's a big set of juicy balls go through. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
Like 10 minutes they were up there. Right now, and in all fairness, loads of astronauts. Bear in mind, there's been 104 women astronauts. There's been lots of people who've been up in space, and many of them, in fact, actually have said it was an incredible, like, you know, spiritual moment seeing.
Yeah.
But that's when they're actually in deep space looking back at our blue planet.
Yeah.
They were just, you know, at the garden gate of the planet, like. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, she landed and she said in an interview that she felt super connected to love. And they were only up there for 10 minutes and it takes half an hour for mushrooms to kick in. Do you know what I mean? Maybe, just maybe, she was high in space. She is Californian and pilled, you know, all the shroom, you know, so maybe. Because she was properly rattling off some shroom chat.
Yeah.
It was a lot of shroom chat. Like it was very long. I feel connected to love. We are all one. As long as we have a billionaire friend.
That's how you know you got a drug problem. If you got... I gotta go to space today. How am I gonna get through this? just get boring.
Fucking space.
I used to have to go to space for summer holidays.
So dull.
Yeah.
And you know the traffic's gonna be. We're gonna have to get the I-940. This time it's gonna be like 3 hours to the postule. The postule? The capsule? What was I? The platform? I don't know what the fuck I was trying to say. I'm not the space expert I claim to be.
Yeah.
But I liked two things that I really liked. That thing where they all started pointing out the moon when they were in their 4 minutes in space. Right? But because they were all so show busy, the way they said it was like, oh, there's the moon. That's the moon. It was like they'd bumped into the moon at a Hollywood party. That's the moon. Is that the moon? Yes. You know they say he controls the tides. So great.
Control something else too. Yeah. Surprised they didn't come back grumpy.
So stupid. All of it's fantastic. But I looked into it, right? So obviously this is a much mentioned first all-female space trip. 5 women, 4 minutes in space.
Yeah.
But I looked into it. Who else has been up in old Bezos's rocket who's done this trip? It's actually a very small number of people. Right. So it is actually kind of impressive in its own way. It's not space. They're not actual astronauts. But it this list of people like falls away in quality. Like, right? This is genuinely the list of people that's been up in Jeff Bezos's cock rocket. Jeff Bezos.
Okay.
He was the first one to be fired out of his cock rocket. That is hugely surprised.
He was just on his own with a really bad hangover.
Let's just say he was in his prime. Same day delivery, Jeff Bezos. So Jeff Bezos, first man up in his cock rocket.
Yeah.
Second man up.
You would.
Yeah, you would. There's no point building your own cock rocket unless you're going to go up in it. Second man in his cock rocket, Richard Branson. Another billionaire who's a big fan of cock rockets.
Yeah, sort of like you don't got one of these, do you? Hey, balloon boy. Crawl in my dick, balloon boy. I'll take you to space.
Sit in my dick. Climb into my shaft. You know what double-digit billionaire looks like.
Yeah.
But he's got his
I
own...
know how much you like balloons. You won't see any up there. It's space, Richard.
Well, the thing is, he actually has his own space program called Virgin Galactic. So I don't know whether it's, you know, all the billionaire cock rocketers, they try each other's cock rockets out.
Oh, gross.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're all just swapping them around.
Yeah.
trying each other's rockets out.
Ooh.
Ooh, you've got no cup holders in your one, Bezos. But nevertheless, a man you'd suspect to have gone on the...
Yeah.
Anyway. Number 3, William Shatner.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did that... Oh,
That was
I
recently.
remember this. Yeah. Oh, he did go up, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's too old. He's too old. He's going to hurt himself.
Well, he
That's
did.
what
I think
thought.
he's in his 90s.
He is.
But he went up in his cock rocket.
Wow.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos.
What happens
Richard
to his
Branson.
hair at zero gravity?
It just starts returning to the plug it came out of, which is the one in the sink. 'Cause you can't get in the shower now. It is one of them sit-down showers. Right? Then there was Emily Caldanrelli. She's a TikTok star. It really starts falling away.
Oh, wow.
A TikTok star. She went in space. And then the 5th person on his cock rocket was none other than New York Giants linebacker Michael Strahan.
Strahan.
Right?
Yeah.
Still though, I mean, he's one of the 58th most famous American footballer playing today. Like, not even a quarterback.
Yeah, not playing. He hasn't played for 20 years. He's a
Michael
an announcer
Strahan.
now.
Well, there you go. Michael Strahan's been up in it.
Wow.
Yeah, not Tom Brady.
Well,
Michael Strahan.
The 5 astronaut women, when I heard them, I was just like, I think a lot of women have said no to this. Taylor Swift being one of them.
Yeah. It's like when you do a benefit gig and you go, that's a strong closer, but I don't know some of these other ones. Like, who these people are?
People don't want to save the white rhino as much as they used to.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's Katy Perry in space. I like her. I like her because my youngest daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, has memorised all the lyrics to Roar. And at any family gathering, she will climb onto a chair and just yell out, Roar.
No, like father, like daughter.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, who do you think taught her the words?
And the actions. Yeah. And the moves.
All she has to
and
do
the moves.
is be close to the bathroom when Andrew's having a shower.
That's why she had the little cup to the door.
That's right. That's right. That's how Andrew used to wash his hands during the pandemic. Most of us were singing Happy Birthday, but he was singing Roar.
All the lyrics.
All of them. And then the hand dryer goes off.
Oh, well. There you go.
Sweet.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
We've lost the Pope, but more than likely we're gonna get another one. Like I said, they'll actively looking around now. They'll be in the audition phase.
They'll be searching for him like Easter eggs. Yeah,
for once the children go
Pope is
looking.
being hidden by a giant rabbit as we speak.
Yeah. So, well, good luck to you, Pope Frank. Say hello to his nibs for us. And as for Katy Perry, you didn't go in space. You're not astronauts. But what you are is highly entertaining.
Yeah.
And that is you doing your job. That's your job. That's it.
Yeah.
And we like that.
Way to go, Katie.
Yeah.
And the other ones.
plus A and the others. Yeah. Katie and the Others would be a great name for a band, by the way, if you're thinking of doing something retro. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And another genuinely odd installment of Eejits of the World. This is Glenn Wool.
And this is Andrew Maxwell.
We're on all your social medias.
Yeah.
We're on your YouTubes. We're on your TikToks. We're on your Instagrams, your Twitters, your Facebooks, your threads. We're out there. We put out clips every week. Please interact with them. All of it matters. It really makes a big difference. Like and subscribe if you would. It is an absolute pleasure. If you enjoy the show, shout out to us on any of these platforms. We're out and about. It's the wind beneath our wings, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a People production.
Pod People.